Good morning. It's the early show with Rick and Lola. Ghost Adventures returns for an all-new season and a 2-hour special as a part of Ghostober. I had a chance to visit with Jay Wasley, the AV tech and investigator with Ghost Adventures. Here's part of that conversation.
Hey, Lola.
Hey, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. Here, first of all, huge fan of Ghost Adventures. I've been with you guys since the very beginning, and I've watched all the spin-off stuff, the house calls, the serial killers. I mean, I've watched it all.
Nice.
So when you joined Ghost Adventures back in season 4, that was 12 years ago, ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see yourself still doing this 12 years later?
Not particularly. I mean, when I first joined, they called me just to be their sound guy. So at the very beginning, I just thought it was another gig. You know, I was working a lot in television and film, and I was like, okay, you do a lot of, if you work in that industry, you go from a lot of project to project kind of stuff. So I, at the very beginning, didn't think that this would be something that 12 years later I would still be doing, and now evolving into being in front of the camera, and actually a cinematographer of the show as well. And, it's been a wild evolution that I would never have guessed would have happened, but I'm so thankful and grateful that it has happened.
Were you a believer before?
Yeah, I mean, before the show, and I think in a way, we've talked about it. I know I've had a lot of talks with Aaron about it, how, the four of us now, like, how we've all come about, how everything's come together, like, it was almost like a weird meant-to-be kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I had experiences as a kid. I grew up in New Jersey with lore of the Jersey Devil, and, I was just very intrigued. I studied a lot of different beliefs, different things, just exploring the unknown, the afterlife, things like that. And then, as you grow up and you kind of have to go to work, you kind of get out of that stuff for a while. And then when they brought me on to do sound, it just kind of, it clicked again. It kind of came back and was like, wow, like maybe all that stuff that I was doing as a kid and preparing, and the reason I was into all that is because one day I was going to be doing this where I'm at now, and it's evolved, and the four of us together is just, there's something about it and the energy that we have that just keeps us going, and we get amazing evidence. Yeah,
you guys do play off of each other very well. Let's talk about this new season. And there's a 2-hour special for Ghostober with the Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. Tell us a little bit about Ghost Adventures Devil's Den.
So Devil's Den originally wasn't necessarily going to be a 2-hour special. We, it was just going to be a regular investigation at first, and then as soon as we got in there, we started having experiences. But on top of that, even just during our interviews, we started hearing these stories of how brutal this place was, how terrible the past of this place was. It's an old juvenile prison that got shut down because of the poor conditions. The state had to come in and shut it down. We found former guards. We had former inmates that we brought in to tell us the stories and what it was like there, and they were all just constantly expressing how terrifying it was. Not from, violence, and I mean there was violence, of course, in a prison, but they weren't afraid of that. They were all afraid of the paranormal activity. The guard was telling us stories. He would witness inmates, the kids becoming possessed. He would find kids in their cells doing rituals, like demonic summoning rituals. We think this is kind of maybe where it all came from. Who knows how many, rituals were done that kind of just unleashed this, demonic virus, if you will, and it just kind of got out of control and took over the place. And then even after our interviews, our first investigation just was literally a night of hell. And there were times where we thought we were going to have to shut down our production because it was getting so bad. And that's when we realized, like, we we need to dive in more. Like, this isn't just a regular episode. We need to spend more time here. We need to figure out more about what's going on here.
And again, I'm talking with Jay Wasley. He is the AV Tech and Paranormal Investigator for Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel and Discovery Plus. Now, I was watching an episode actually just last night. You guys scratched, taken over. You talk about things getting really, really intense. How do you cope with that? You've been over a decade of doing this. How do you cope?
I mean, it's tough, and honestly, there's times where we probably don't. We're filming so much, and we're going from investigation to investigation where there's very little time off in between to kind of process it, which, I mean, maybe sometimes is good because it keeps the mind just focused on what's next. But for me personally, it's taken a long time. At first, I feel things were affecting me. There were times in my life, in the past where things followed me home and, wreaked havoc on my home life. And, I feel over the years I've developed my own way of keeping grounded, keeping positive. I like to play music, go hiking, spend time in nature, do things to just kind of reconnect with any kind of positivity. Mm-hmm. And it's not even so much of a process that I do now. It's kind of just my life, just part of my life now is just doing these things. So it's almost just second nature at this point after investigation to kind of do this stuff naturally.
Right. Over the years, the technology has changed a lot. Do you have a favorite piece of equipment? We've tried different things, and I think different things work really well in different scenarios. There's not always just one that works all the time that's the best. I feel there's a lot of times you don't necessarily see it because obviously the show's edited, but we'll pretty much throw everything we got at stuff, and then obviously when you see the show, it's kind of the highlights of it all. I like the XLS, which uses the infrared lasers to scan an area, and then it shows stick figures. That one's really cool. What I like about that is not so much even just when a figure appears. I mean, it still is wild, but we've had experiences where we've seen a figure or even multiple figures, and then we'll wave, and then we'll see it raise its hand and wave back to us. There was even a time we were filming at an old jail, and we didn't even know it at the time, but we were in a room that had a little stage, and it was where the inmates were allowed to do, like, shows or put on a little performance or play some music. And we actually caught a band on this device. And the ghost band, yes.
There was like a drumming the guitar and things like that. And then we all realized that, and we clapped, and then they bowed and disappeared. It was incredible.
Just amazing. Of course, you can catch all of these past episodes on Discovery Plus, and then of course the new season of Ghost Adventures Thursday nights and that 2-hour special Ghost Adventures Devil's Den. Jay Wasley, I've got a list of questions. I could go on for another hour talking to you, but it has definitely been a privilege, and we are just about out of time. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience before you go?
I just want to say, I mean, it's been so long. We got so much more, and I've always liked to thank anyone that's always supported us, especially like yourself from the beginning. Like, we wouldn't be able to keep doing what we do without you guys, and we got so much more coming up. And this new batch is, it's weird because I always say, like, oh, this season's crazier, these new episodes are crazy, but they literally get crazier and crazier, and we're still processing what happened, and I really can't wait for you all to see it.
All right, wonderful. It's been a pleasure visiting with you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you.
And again, that was Jay Wasley, one of the members of the Ghost Adventures team. And you've got all new episodes of Ghost Adventures airing Thursdays at 10 on the Travel Channel and on Discovery Plus, and a 2-hour Ghost Adventures Devil's Den special premiering September 29th at 9 p.m. on the Travel Channel. And then, of course, it is also available on Discovery Plus. It's the Early Show with Rick and Lola. Good morning.